For so long in my life, I felt like I was the only person who was afraid to do big things. Something that you don't know is infinitely more scary than something that you know. So I feel like you have to figure out what the unknown is in order to not be scared. If you never look into the unknown, you're never going to stop fearing the unknown. Today's quarterfinals at SPL. I'm like nervous, but also just really excited because SPL is just a really fun event. But I also like have this narrative in my head that like I really want to make podium. My current thought is I just need to make it through today. That's what I'm telling myself. Just get through day one. Oh my God.
You need anything?
No, it didn't work. So I have to poke myself again. I'm 536.
What is that?
400 is bad.
Okay.
100 is good. At least I have a while until I have to run. I was never like really a team sports person, but like parkour, it was always something new and there was always something new and cool that I could learn. I get bored of things very easily.
The kids wanted to start parkour when they were pretty young, but we didn't really know what parkour was. They had been watching American Ninja Warrior on TV and climbing on everything in our house. And I just knew we needed to find a place where they could get that out other than on our walls and door frames. I found Apex online and we came in and it was everything they had wanted and hoped for.
Every day I could just walk in and do something different. It kind of started in like November of 2021. I was just not feeling my best. I was with my friends and I was like, man, climbing these stairs really is tiring. You don't notice it at the time, but then you look back and you think, wow, I was just slowly getting worse and worse.
It just came on so fast and they just kind of thought she was sick. I guess when I started to panic was the day before we ended up in the emergency room. I was sitting on the couch and she came down and was lying on the couch with her head in my lap and I was rubbing her back, and she's always been thin, but I could feel every vertebrae, every rib.
And then the doctor goes and she's like, your blood sugar is like 550 and the normal range is like 80 to 180. And then they were like, you got to go take a 12-hour course on diabetes. And I was like, great, this is just what I need to stab myself with needles that I'm afraid of. I don't know. I feel like being that sick, you don't even really know what's going on. Like at that point, you're just so out of it that you don't even care what happens to you anymore. It's currently 9:45. I haven't eaten since 4. And I need to change this guy out. We don't have any more of the thing. I don't know what we're gonna do about that. So this means that I'll have to do finger pokes for however many days.
Most people only see her like at the gym. It sometimes probably seems like it's not that hard to other people, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and yet she still does more training, working out than most people I know.
Oh, that one really hurt. And then I realized that I left the thing that monitors my insulin at the gym, which means that I can't give insulin for my lunch. And I'm gonna eat it anyways, but it's gonna make my blood sugar shoot up super high because I can't do insulin without it. That was like, dang, I never want to feel like this again. I want to be able to jump and run. The fact that I couldn't anymore made me really appreciate what I was missing and like how much of an impact it had on my life. It took me like about a month to like fully heal and be able to get back into parkour. But then I got back into parkour and I started training more often. I would pop into like competitions just as they came and went. And then I hit this like, I want to train much harder now. Oh my God. But I was still kind of just having a lot of underlying health issues that I was kind of putting off just so that I could keep training. I don't know, I feel like it gets easier the more days you do. I feel like day 2 is like maybe the least stressful, honestly, because like day 1 you haven't competed against any of the competitors yet. So you're like, oh no. But then day 2 you're like less stressed, like you already know how you're doing.
There's only one round. Like I said, the top 6 will be moving on to tomorrow and their points will count towards their final score.
On my second run during semifinals, I had a false start on the timer. So I went off the push pad in the wrong way, I guess, and the timer didn't work. And then I had to start my run over. Like I had to do it again when I thought it was just gonna be a one and done. My stomach issues and stuff got kind of swept under the rug with diabetes, but then they just like continued after diabetes. I finally was like, this isn't how I should be living. I noticed that it started to take another damper on my training. Like I would have to stop because I would get a crippling stomach ache. So I started trying to get help with that. Apparently it's a really hard thing to diagnose. But they finally confirmed I had Crohn's. I literally remember like telling my mom after that, hey, if they tell me that I'm gonna have to like ease up on my workout or anything, I'm gonna tell them no. Because I need that to deal with this.
Back in May of 2001, my husband, father-in-law, dog, and I were hiking a local mountain, and a storm came in and ended up trapping us on the mountain overnight. I fell into a creek with my father-in-law and got wet up to my knees. And so when we ended up having to spend the night out, it was 10 degrees and I got severe frostbite on my feet and partway up my legs. I spent 10 days in the hospital and 3 months in a wheelchair, and then had 4 amputation surgeries that left me with just my 2 little toes on my left foot. For our family, we 100% believe, bad things can happen in your life, but then you adapt and continue on being who you want to be and doing what you love doing.
A little nervous.
Ever since Megan got sick, when she decided what she wanted to keep doing, which was parkour, we as a family, and me as the main person who's available to be supportive, have been 100% in on helping Megan.
Remember, you got to trick your body into believing you're
Yeah.
confident, which you are.
I'm confident. I'm so confident.
For me, on my journey of recovery, it needed to be deeply personal, and I needed on my own to figure out what I wanted to do and how I could do it,
Yeah, it's definitely overhung.
and that I was doing it for myself.
Remember, we are a bit on a time crunch.
Yep.
It looks slightly angled.
Yeah. And then I started dealing with humor, as one does. My favorite joke has been that I'm collecting autoimmune diseases like infinity stones.
Yeah.
I think I'm really funny personally. It was shockingly easy for me, but that tells me that I can do more. Go, go, go! Feeling pretty good. I don't know. My points are pretty high compared to anyone besides the top 3 currently. Trying to again, just not really focus on the nerves, not focus on it, just have fun and be in the moment.
The world's most talented athletes have come here to compete with us. History will undoubtedly be made again here tonight.
Second place for women's speed is McQueen!
I get really excited when I go to the gym, so I think he's valid in this. Okay, guys. So, a couple of rules before we go into the gym, okay? When we're walking in the gym, we got to be really careful, okay? Because there's a bunch of boxes and beams and bars around us, okay? Everyone's boundaries are different, so therefore, when we are celebrating victories, it's not thinking about who just did the biggest thing ever. It's focusing on recognizing that everyone has their own individual boundaries and celebrating when they push those boundaries. even though you have to push through your mental barriers, that's okay because it's part of the process. I think parkour and moving in this community and space is for everyone. Anyone, depending on their limits, what they've gone through. There are so many people doing this sport who, like, you don't necessarily always see, but they're there. They are always there.
Watch your feet, watch your feet. Look down, look at your feet. Yes, so good.
It's always going to be difficult to have to be the first one to take that step and to say, I'm going to start this even though there's no one like me doing it. But then you're going to be the person that the next person looks to, and then they're going to be the person that the next person looks to, and then you're going to have a community.
Thank you guys so much for coming. It was so much fun to have you guys here. It truly means so much to me. I have type 1 diabetes and Crohn's disease, and it's really cool to see a bunch of other kiddos who are just like me doing all of this cool stuff because we all can do it. And it's so cool to just have everyone here and try. You guys did so good today. I hope you learned a bunch. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Over my journey of sickness and health and speed bumps and whatever, I feel like I've just learned that, like, the human soul and, like, everyone's brains are so much more tough than you think that they are. Like, they can take a hell of a beating and still get up and keep going and, like, just learn from it. It's all about just pushing yourself and figuring out what you can do, even if you don't think you can do it at first.